Previously on Forgotten Gods, our gods arrived back in Archcliffe to find Lord Bolin back on the throne. Narrowly escaping the angels, we found ourselves travelling through many different dimensions and versions of Arcadia. Once we finally escaped these many different versions of Arcadia, we landed in what we assumed to be the real one, where a mysterious figure, revealed to be Solinar, awaits us. Find out what happens next. Now.
It's beginning to look a lot like a mass for a pantheon of impossible gods. Deranged, disturbed, and beyond your mortal comprehension. Praise them. Praise them. Welcome to the Adventuring Portal.
In the land of dice and fantasy, jump on board, we can guarantee there's a podcast that is so grand, where adventure is always at hand. So step through the portal and roll some dice. Step through the portal, the adventuring portal.
Good evening, and welcome to Forgotten Gods, a Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. My name is Bradley Ward, and I am your Dungeon Master, and joining me around the table today, we're calm, everything's gonna be fine. I have a depressed clown trying to give himself a pep talk in the mirror. It's John Freno.
You're gonna do great.
We have a man so Australian you can barely understand him, Alex Parrott. We have a wealthy gadabout trying to laugh at a poor person whilst also choking on champagne. And we have a southern belle who just cannot handle all this humidity, Lee O'Maday.
Oh my god, this weather. I simply can't. Somebody give me a glass of cold spritz. Oh, thank you.
A glass of cold
A
spritz.
glass of cold spritz and you just water.
Get off the counter! I know.
So, where did we leave off, guys? I think we're having a good old time, skipping around the multiverse to different versions of Arcadia. Great time. We were in a carnival, and we're in a manor house at a lovely social event, in a mall in the 80s, and we're rehearsing for a classic piece of theatre by none other than award-winning playwright
Tom Stopper!
We ended about there, didn't we? And everything was fine and dandy, and
No, but then we met someone.
you did. That's right. You finally ended up in the real Arcadia, in some sort of stuffy old office, standing opposite this skeletal, withered man who introduced himself as Solinar. So that's where we'll pick up from. 4 gods. We have Sprig, our newly minted god of stories. Mallory, our god of chaos. Daara, goddess of creation and destruction. And Zawabashi, the god of growth and individuality. Standing opposite the supposed god above all. The center of Nerium's monotheistic religion. The god who supplanted your pantheon from its place of power. Solinar. Long, sharp nose, cheekbones, actually beginning to pierce through the skin. The skin has become so thin and sunken into his face, you can see the bone beginning to cut through the flesh. Hair, greasy and patches, bald patches, scattered throughout what hair is there, stretching down to his lower back. Eyes unblinking, for the sockets seem to pull back so much there are no eyelids any longer. Welcome to Arcadia.
I am Solinar. You have business with me, yes.
Wait, are you like Solinar? Why are you in Arcadia? Aren't you? Is your realm? I guess would be the term.
This is my realm.
We have lots of questions for you, sir. We are, or we thought we were, Arcadian gods.
Oh. Are you the new recruits? They're not meant to come straight to me. They're meant to go to a different place where the already angels take care of you. But I'm happy to process you here since you've made it all the way.
Well, no, like, I'm Mallory.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
And like, I'm the god of chaos now. And like, I'm from Wickless originally.
There is no god but Solinar, but you may call yourself whatever you wish.
Interesting. I think the this is our opportunity to get a bit more information. I feel like we need a bit of sir.
Yes.
Do you know any beings by the name of Forcentis, Varissa, Wickless?
Yes. The eight old gods of Neria.
Yes.
Yes.
Where do they dwell?
In Arcadia.
Cool. So they are here?
Yes.
Cool. Where,
Well, those of them that I heard that there was a bit of a scuffle amongst them, and some of them are dead or deposed, but those that still live here.
So they're the old gods. Are they still gods?
Yes.
Sure. Cool.
But there is no god but...
There is no god but Solinar. They are immortal creatures who receive prayers as their form of power, and in that sense, they are gods.
So the no gods but Solinar is more of a company motto, perhaps, than an actual fact.
No, there is no god but Solinar. They still live because I allow them to live.
Fantastic. We are confused.
Can I try and get a sense of like, where are we in Arcadia? Like, obviously somewhere we've never been. And it's like, everything's so constantly changing. Are we like up, down, diagonal, pocket dimension?
Can you do a perception check for me, please?
14.
14. From just this room, as I said, this is a sort of rich, dark woods, lacquered, old-fashioned study or office. Just four walls you can't see. There is, behind Solinar's desk, a window with the curtains drawn. And you can see a little bit of what looks like sunlight peeking through the edges around the curtains, which is to imply that there is something beyond this room. This room does not exist in its own plane, but you can't see through the curtain. You'd have to go around the desk and open, which you're welcome to try, but...
Do you mind opening the curtains up?
It's a bit stuffy in here, actually.
Yes.
He turns around and pulls the curtains open. Sun does come flooding into the room, momentarily blinding you, and then your eyes adjust. And as your eyes adjust, you're no longer standing in this office. By opening the blinds, the walls, the desk, bookshelves, furniture have just stripped away. And you're standing in a series of you're standing in a field. Lengthy rolling field, hills and trees and ponds. Can everyone do a perception check for me, please?
8.
7.
7.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
16.
Zawabashi and Daara, you know you're standing in Astara, the realm of Astara, where Daara is from. You recognize these hills and paddocks. You can see that pond that you can see. You're standing just on sort of the crest of a hill. You can see a pond down below. You've swum in that pond before. You've played there with Samsa. The pond, the water is slick black, like oil. And whilst you recognize this as rolling fields, it is monochromatic. The grass is white, pure white. The tree trunks are pitch black. That sort of blackness that seems to go on forever. You could reach into it. Like the tree trunks are an imprint on the world itself. And again, the leaves are bone white. You're standing in Daara, but as you reach your hand in front of you, Zawabashi, you notice this first on your unnatural 20. Whenever you move a part of your body, it seems to leave a brief imprint, like a television that's just been turned off. An imprint of where you just were before, fading away. You're in Arcadia, but not quite.
What sort of plane is this?
This is Arcadia. This is my realm where I live. These are my fields and my trees. And
Daara, this doesn't look how it was for you, right?
No, not at all. It's very different to how I remember it.
And this whooshy stuff. Can I move my head?
This whooshy stuff I've never experienced this
Looks
before,
like you eat
and
something, yeah.
the trees look wrong, the water looks wrong. It's not right.
But we're aware that most of Arcadia, as we remember it, was kind of destroyed by Forcentus with his black, or whatever creature that was. We wouldn't expect it to be exactly the same. We saw black tentacles take over most of the land. Are you aware of that? The whole tentacle-y blackness thing?
oh yes, I'm
Do
aware.
you know what that was?
I think that was one of your people.
Yeah, we expected it to
trying
be...
to kill everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, it was much fun to watch.
Was it? Yeah. less fun for us. Do you know why?
They wanted to kill everyone. Oh, they don't communicate.
They don't.
The goings on in your realm are to me a diorama.
Oh.
Something to stand and watch. Have you ever seen what the mortals refer to as an ant farm?
This whooshiness is because we're not here, we're observing it, I think. Is that correct? You're just observing rather than being in Daara right now.
No, it's more like this is Arcadia. This is the realm. And where you live is like a little film laid over the top of my realm, like tracing paper over an illustration. I'm the original drawing.
But you referred to them as the old gods, which kind of infers they were here first.
Oh, sure, yes.
How can you be original if they were here first?
Oh, they were here first. What I inhabit now is the original. It's the original.
And that's where they were.
That's where they were.
And we've heard a little bit about contracts and agreements. Did they make a contract and agreement with you?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah,
And what was that agreement? That contract?
that agreement.
Solinar turns away from you, and as he turns, the fields disappear and you are standing in the square at the center of Arcadia. The place where you guys disappeared from this realm, where the statue of Daara clapped her hands together and transported you to Nerium. You stand now in that square, but instead a towering statue of Solinar. The same man that stands before you, but a glamorized version of him.
Like the one in Archcliffe?
Like the one in Archcliffe. The illustrations of Archcliffe of an incredibly kindly yet muscular, powerful figure is a statue that stands there now.
Yes, they had a contract with me because I was going to kill them. And they didn't want to die. I'm sure you can understand how that feels.
Well, why were you going to kill him?
Because he's the one true God Solinar, and there are the gods. Surely it's that simple.
Well, you just said they're not gods.
Well, I think they're entertainment.
Solinar leans close to you, Sprig. Leans close, and you feel his breath. Hot breath on your skin, tickling your skin, which is not something you're accustomed to from a god. Gods don't require oxygen and breath the same way a mortal does. The only breath you would feel in your skin is that which a god would want to have as it's part of their aesthetic and their domain. You feel hot, reeking breath on your skin.
Offer me worship.
Why would I do that?
Because you want answers.
Yeah, but not that badly.
Not that badly?
No, I feel like we've kind of deduced most of this just from observation. So I'm good, actually. I mean, I was just curious. If you were willing to give them, then that's fine. But I don't think I'm going to offer you worship just for extra answers.
He smiles and runs the tips of his lengthy fingernails.
I'd
down
recoil
your
a
cheek.
bit. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Are you okay? Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I feel powerful. I feel multitudes.
And his image starts, without moving, starts to shimmer out like he's walked a good several meters really quickly. You see several afterburns of him on this realm before they collapse back into one person.
Cool. Can you do that again and then look at your afterburn to see what it looks like, to get a good look at yourself?
He turns very quickly and his head creates about 20 afterburns scattering out across, each one turned looking in on itself.
Yes. I'm beautiful.
Oh, well, that's good.
I'm everything that they want me to be. I represent everything they want, they desire, they need. I am everything at once.
Oh, God. Oh, you poor fellow. That's... oh, no, I think that's only just hit me. I wanted to be that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be you, and I just realized how
Pathetic.
how intense it would be to be everything everyone wants, to be the god of everything, to be everything incarnate. That's you poor fellow. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of things to be.
When you say that they want you to be, are you talking about the people praying to you?
Yes, the mortals. Yes.
Oh, God.
I am what they want.
Were you
Am
born
I not what
mortal?
you want?
Were you born mortal?
Offer me worship.
Well, that's
Offer me something. What do you want?
He looks at you, Mallory, and he takes a step towards you, and with every step you see fur start to emerge from his flesh. Eyes, the yellows of what should be the whites of his eyes, but are yellow, spin around to become clear white. Buck teeth emerge from his face. It's clear he's trying to create a replica of Felix, but instead it is this half-man, half-rabbit monstrosity starts to walk towards you.
Oh, I don't think you're doing that right. I mean, if you're a god of everything at once, then what about all the things that are constantly contradicting each other?
Yes.
So aren't you kind of a god of everything and a god of nothing?
Yes.
And
Now-
his skin starts to unravel from around his body, and you hear bones clacking to the ground before they've even been revealed by the peeling of flesh.
Before he fully disintegrates, Sprig
Yes.
says, but once upon a time, you were god of less.
You hear the voice just behind your ear, formless.
I was once not a god, but a king.
What kind of man were you? What kind of king were you?
A good one. However you would wish to interpret that.
Are you feel content in your state? This is what you wanted?
The head of the statue turns towards you and takes over the speaking.
I feel. And sometimes that's all I have to know.
I feel so sorry for him, honestly.
I was a king. A mortal man. I served well. Whatever well may mean in that context. I served well in that I served all powerfully. Over all of my realms. And then came ships from across the sea. The boats of Nerium come to investigate. And so much did they hate the idea that they were not alone in this universe, that they attempted to lay waste to my realms. And as I was a good king, I fought back. And I defeated them. And I subjugated them. And I established myself as a god. And as the gods of Nerium had fled the realm already, tails between their legs, the vacuum was there for me to fill. I received their worship, leeching away from your old gods until they were barely more powerful than mortals. And by the time they realized what had been done from their lofty perch, they came down to try and stop me, and were unable to do so. My armies much larger than theirs, the faith of my soldiers much deeper than theirs, my powers much greater than theirs.
So did this guy King Henry VIII himself into being a god?
I think he fucking did.
I mean, but there's lots of stories of men becoming, or humans becoming gods,
Yeah.
We are not overly fond of,
Any of that.
but even specifically, we're not fond of those old gods. They're not, they killed, essentially, we were among their minor deities, and they killed many of us. So we're not fond of them, and so I sympathize.
Because of him.
Well, I think it's because
Solinar.
of their
Well, he
betraying their own people,
Yeah, the contract.
abandoning their people, creating Solinar. I think it's their fault what happened to him. And I think what they've taken, that retribution, is kind of deserved, honestly. I'm gonna... Is he the statue at the moment?
At the moment, yes. The statue looks down. This great golden statue looks down at you.
Can I try and help you?
What help do you think I need?
I don't know, but can I try?
Statue looks down at the ground, and from the earth grows a small sprout. Grows larger and larger into this bud, this plant bud about 10 feet tall, which then slowly opens, and a human version of the statue, the great Solinar, the all-powerful, benevolent one, steps out.
What would you propose to do?
I just want to try something.
Okay.
First, I'm going to give myself guidance, and then I'm going to, if he allows me, put my hand on his shoulder. In a friendly and calm way.
Okay. Myself as a dam, I'm gonna just... You don't need to reveal your whole plan yet.
I'm not going to try and hurt him. There's no malice.
There is no deception.
No
here.
deception,
You are
no
genuinely
malice.
doing this in
trying
an
to-
act of kindness,
Yeah.
whatever it's about to be.
Yeah. So you could do it as a persuasion, but I'm trying to persuade him through my body language that I don't mean him harm, that me placing my hand on his shoulder is a friendly gesture.
Give me a persuasion check, but do it if this is genuinely an act of kindness. Do it with advantage.
Okay. 24.
He allows you to put your hand on his shoulder.
I'm going to begin a ceremony.
You're going to marry him too, aren't you?
No. So this is a different part of the ceremony, which is called atonement.
Yeah.
You touch one creature whose alignment has changed, and you make them. You make a insight check. On a successful check, you restore them to their original alignment. So this is Sprig attempting to restore them to, at least internally, if we're not worried
humanity.
about, well, or at least their frame of mind as a mortal man, rather than what has been done to them through this process. And that's, you interpret that however you want, because, alignment doesn't mean much, but for me it means the state that they were once in. The mental state, state of being.
Fascinating. The spell is, whilst I think about it, the spell is called Ceremony. I know you're putting your hand on his shoulder, but there should be some ceremonial aspect to it. Yeah. And as God of Stories, what is it that you would say or do?
Yeah. So with my hand on his shoulder, I begin to, as the God of Stories, my other hand is on the neck of my bouzouki, and I start kind of like tapping away at strings and creating like a bit of a tune kind of going along with it, just kind of tapping. And I start to recount my understanding of what mortality is, what humanity is. Yeah, and kind of just exploring those and discussing those ideas.
As you say all this and as the music plays...
This does also require a roll for it to work.
It does require a roll.
So it's an insight check of 20 that I need to roll for this ceremony to be successful.
Oh damn, what's your insight?
I have a +2, but I also gave myself guidance.
I'm going to describe this bit first.
Sure.
Then we will do the roll to see how the ceremony concludes. Yeah. Because I think this is a huge thing and you are changing him in some way regardless.
Yeah.
As the music plays, with each new bar you reach in this song, or each new refrain of this repeated musical motif, a new version of Solinar walks into this clearing, this town centre, out of the myriad twisting labyrinthine alleyways that lead into this town centre from all the parts of Arcadia. You see a child Solinar, just a human boy, looking around in fear and confusion at a large and unfair world. Soon after that, you see a young man, Solinar, wearing the outfit of a revolutionary, wearing those ribbons and hats
and accoutrement that identified them as standing against oppression. That is young Solinar, you see, emerge from another element. And you see him a few years older, face covered with ash, that ribbon on his chest torn off the outfit, blood on his hands, smoke seeming to trail behind him. This is a Solinar at the end of a fight, but a smile on his face as he is the victor. You see a well-dressed Solinar, not gaudily well-dressed, but dressed in the finery of someone important, with determination in his eyes, a leader of the people. The smile is still there from the previous one, but it has faded ever so slightly. And concern and shaking of his belief having taken place. You see a few different versions of that Solinar, each one with the smile fading more and more, hair starting to recede a little bit on the temples and the top of the head as he ages and loses faith in the belief strongly held by the younger Solinars. And you see Solinar the king, who has thrown away dreams of democracy, of trying to lead people with a sense of togetherness, and has just taken the power because he believes that if he just had the opportunity to enact his will, because he knows what's right and he knows what's best for these people and he loves them, he could make their lives better. And then you see more and more kings, dozens of kings from each stage of Solinar's long life as he descended further and further into the trappings of being a despot, a tyrant. Alignment is not as simple as we would like it to be. And in each of these Solinars, each of these hundreds of men that filled this town square, is a change in what this man believed. As he stood up and fought, and won, and then had to keep fighting, and eventually gave in to the impulse to just enact his will.
Seeing this and understanding this, I'm going to try and channel this ceremony to focus on a young man.
Can you roll that insight check?
Yeah, I'm going to roll the guidance first. That's a 3.
That's good.
So I need to get a 15 or higher.
Okay. Do you want to roll it in the... Are you happy rolling it there, or do you want the tray?
Okay, let's just see what happens.
Oh!
I rolled a nat 1. However, as the god of stories...
Yeah.
That's true.
As the god of stories...
Yes.
I can choose to succeed on one roll a day.
Yes, you can.
Rewriting history.
We know we're in the climax of this story. And I can't guarantee that your characters are going to get a long rest again between now and the end. You might, but I can't guarantee it.
It's totally fine. I think Sprig believes this to be an important moment. To try and restore this person who I think he feels has been caught in a trap, kind of his own making, but I think Sprig also believing that's what he wanted when he first started this kind of journey for power, looking at this man as a reflection of what Sprig might have been, and realizing that's not what he wanted, feels sorrow for Solinar, is trying to help him. So I guess, yes, using this in this moment feels important to him.
First enactment of your new godly power. You reach out, you hit a wrong note, and all of these figures shatter like a rock with glass, fractures through them all. But with your godly ability, you reach out and you shift the flow of history. Make it so that that note you just hit, that was the key you'd been playing all along. That was the right note. Nobody should ever know differently. And with that little shift, finish your song with a final chord. The Solinar that stands in front of you is no longer the decrepit man that you met, or the glorious image, but is a young man, a revolutionary, full of hope and fear in his eyes for realization of what he's done to get to where he is. Oh God. I'm sorry. I'm really truly sorry.
Yeah, I think we're sorry for the part that our parents played in what happened to you.
Thank you, but I'm sorry because I don't think you're going to like the terms of the contract.
What are the terms of the contract?
So, yes, this war against me, I won, and I could have wiped out your pantheon, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to become a real god, an actual god. Yeah, people believed in me, but I wasn't a real god yet, so I allowed your pantheon to live. I got your major gods to make me immortal, to give me immortality, a bit of their power. And I got them to give me angels. You don't have angels in your pantheon. So I didn't want minor gods, I wanted the power. I just wanted angels that were underneath me, representatives of me. And I demanded that of them, and since your pantheon doesn't have angels, they gave me the closest thing they did have, which was you, the minor gods. And all of your gods that have been going off to fight in a war have just been sent to me to remove their minds and their personalities and their domains and turn them into my angels.
Slaves, which is what we said originally.
All of my angels that you've met are you.
Are they like... Do they send one off and then come up with a new minor god of that thing? Or there was so many minor gods that it didn't even matter?
Some of them, a lot of them at first were, well, let's just get rid of minor gods that nobody will notice. You know, so specific or obscure that, hey, let's just send them off. You know, those ones you've known for a long time that were excited to join the army and head off to fight the good fight because they weren't getting much prayers anyway. Some of them were made. Yeah, they had to keep up with the numbers.
So that's what they've been doing. You said, what happens when the contract ends?
I never anticipated an end to the contract.
Oh, the end is running out of minor gods.
Well, that or terms are one angel for every believer. That's the numbers I put in the contract for every believer of Solinar, every worshipper of me. They owed me an angel.
What happened? We converted a few people to Sprig when we were down there. What happened to those angels? Did they just disappear, or did they convert back to what they were?
There is no converting back to what they were. I destroyed what they were.
And our parents agreed to this contract for Centus. We're killing spree to absorb them all into himself. I think by absorbing them into himself, it's a way of him maintaining power and trying to give over as little as possible to Solinar.
If he absorbs enough of us, he'll think he'll be strong enough. Separate, they weren't strong enough to defeat Solinar. But maybe if he himself...
Does the contract end if there are no more minor gods?
If there are nothing left to convert, or one angel for every believer, the contract comes to an end.
Does that include the old gods themselves? Do they become converted, or are they not part of the bargain?
The contract is that they would not be converted.
So, his way of trying to end the contract is absorb as many of us as possible himself, so that the contract ends. So, no more angels for Solinar, no more giving up power, minor gods.
What would happen if the contract ends? It just ends, or do you start?
That would be up to them, wouldn't it, if they... I'm so much more powerful than... The other side of this contract is I've given you guys enough prayers to keep you alive. They give me angels. I hand over the prayers.
But not the best prayers.
Enough.
So
Just
that,
enough.
that vision we had of Varissa,
That was you.
she wasn't talking about for Centus. She was talking about Solinar.
I'm more worried that I have more prayers, because I hated my old prayers.
Probably some better ones being
And maybe,
taken.
hopefully.
Right.
That was... I don't mean to defend me, past me, future me, whatever version of me did this. I don't mean to... But the contract wasn't I had to give you a certain quality of prayers, just enough prayers. So, true love and great swings of fortune and life, I kept those for me. They kept me going. When I was losing my mind trying to be everything at once, those good prayers kept me strong enough.
I'm going to ask you, as you are, what do you want now? Do you need to be all-powerful? Do you need to be the one true God? Do you need to be everything anymore?
Me, as I am right now? No, I don't want this. I never wanted this, I just wanted... My world was rigidly structured, oppressed,
bloodlines ruled all. It was monarchy, it was oligarchy. I just wanted to break down that structure. Solinar that I am to become is that, and I don't want that. I'd rather die. I would rather die.
I think, wanted or not, you are a god now.
I mean, are you worried that you'd become that now that you're kind of back in this consciousness? Are you worried you'd do that again?
I think the story's changed.
I don't know. This is nice. But just a spell? How long am I really?
I was gonna,
Well, from what I
said
understand,
you'd rather die. Do you want us to kill you?
Let's maybe take a
I'm just
minute.
putting it on the table.
we, just to give you a bit of insight into us, we were minor gods. We fled the massacre of our people, not your massacre, Forcentus's massacre, to Arcadia, where we have gathered our own believers in us. Some of them were believers in the old gods, some believers in you, but they've followed us because I think a little bit like you used to be, we stood up for them. We liked them and we helped them. So if what you're feeling right now is that same sentiment, I don't see why you can't work towards that without needing to be everything. On that, do you have any hobbies or like interests, like things that you liked as a mortal, like focus areas? You know, we're not all encompassing deities. I'm the god of stories, and then subcategory poetry. We have specific domains, things that we want to help people through. So perhaps if you were interested, you could branch out and be one thing rather than all things, and use that to help your followers and allow them to believe in other things as well. It's just an option.
Even now, as we speak and I feel this clarity, I can feel him scratching at the edges of my mind, looking for a crack to tear open and crawl through, for me from this realm. This is a great bit of spellcraft you've done. It won't last forever. So, either I can make a lasting change right now, or we can let me come back.
I'd say lasting change. That's my vote.
That's probably...
Yeah, that would be best.
Could you free your slaves?
I could free them into nothingness.
Their souls. What happened to their souls?
It's gone.
You destroyed their souls?
They didn't need souls.
Right.
Do you know then where Forcentus is now?
He lifts his hand and points. By the time his finger clicks into place, you are standing in a massive amphitheater. The place where this all began. Where that first explosion ripped through Mordgren and tore him apart. And you see Forcentus sitting up at the long table on the stage where the major gods would give their speeches and announcements to the minor gods. You see him sitting there cross-legged, waiting.
Oh god, are we right next to him now?
You were...
Oh, we're observing. It's
You're
still an observatory. I was like, oh, are we right next to him? Okay.
You're not right next to it. You were like this is a huge amphitheater. You were standing much on one of the steps, one of the audience pews in this amphitheater.
It's not a good idea if we transfer whatever Solinar's got into Force Centers to then all of a sudden have him go through a whole fucking...
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it's just giving him way too much power.
We definitely don't want to do that.
Right.
Do we...
You have... You said last exchange, what ideas did you have?
I could kill myself, bring an end to this form and this god, or, as Sprig mentioned, becoming a lesser god. He's what you need to consider. He's what you need to think real hard about. I am a plug in a bathtub, holding back all of the prayer and the worship that sits upon my shoulders. And if I die, or am removed from my position to become a minor god, then that plug is removed, and what lurks in the plumbing underneath are your major gods. The power they gave me to be who I am flows back to them. The prayers, the worship flows past me back to those original gods, the representatives of those prayers.
You could give it to us.
Can give it to you.
The power. And we can hold the plug.
We could write up a new contract now. If it's shared amongst the four of us. If it's shared, it's an easier load to carry. Or you either, up yourself or become minor god, and then we quickly go and try and stop Force Centers.
Oh, I think it'll all go straight to Force Centers.
Can you split it up between multiple things?
Split one up my power.
Yeah. I mean, could we make a deal now about the prayers you currently have?
What would you offer? What would you offer that would allow the universe to accept this?
That the gods live in, or like our religion and your religion lives in peace. And the people of Narian can explore whatever faith they want without persecution.
They should be free to do that. We can't deal with their lives and thoughts.
What do you want? You are your own person. Do you want to live? Do you want relief through death? Do you want to become a minor deity? I think as a basic thing you should free your slaves, regardless.
The only thing is that they go into nothingness.
They are corpses. They are essentially zombies, without souls, working as soldiers.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a kindness to release them, for one thing. Regardless of what you do with your power, those are our siblings, and their bodies are being puppeted.
We could pass them to Kiova.
I think they're long gone, and gone through Kiova already.
Ah.
I could release. Yes, I can do that. Whether this is the end of me or... I mean, this is the end of me either way. It's just a question of whether I let him come back or whether I end it now. Either way, yes, I can free those.
Ooh, what if... What's his...
I want to help people or to not exist.
That's all I want.
If you're afraid that you're going to come back as you were a few moments ago and no longer wanting to help people, then I think that answers your question. If you currently want to help people and you feel like you can hold that, then I suggest to you, join us. If you don't think you can sustain that desire for help, then I think that answers it for you.
I can't. Not forever.
Well, why don't you help us destroy Forcentus until you feel like you can't maintain it any further?
He's under contract to do them no harm. Unless that's broken.
What were the ways that you could end the contract?
If there were... all the minor gods were gone, or there were enough one angel for every believer, which...
That's a trickier one to do.
That has happened.
Wait, what?
I've received all my angels.
So the contract is over. So you can harm him.
Yes.
If you help us destroy the guy, then letting loose the floodgates won't be so much of an issue. Or at least allow us to, or support us in some way of destroying him. I don't wish you destruction, but if you feel like you can't hold it forever, do as much good as you can before you can't.
Well, okay. Hear me out. Speculating an idea. What if we were to make a contract in that every year, if this is even possible, you and I are able to trade bodies, in that one of us has to live with that part that you're worried about to take on for a full mortal life, or even if that's something that you have to deal with in my body, you really can't do much because you don't have the power that you have, that I would have, because I'd be in you, you'd be in me.
What?
So it's like, it's kind of like,
Friday.
so it's kind of like every year, every mortal year, we
They have a
swap.
Freaky Friday.
So then that way you don't have to deal with it forever. You just have to deal with it for a mortal year.
But it's his personality. It's not. It's him as a person.
Yeah, it's his brain.
That's just him, who he has become. This is who he was.
He'll just become a tyrant in your body.
But it is then through me, through the god of growth and individuality, that you are able to learn, discover, and process a new way on finding a new life for yourself. He will have he's Solinar.
I know that he's
Zawabashi.
Solinar. I know who you are.
Swap bodies.
Right.
And it is through my domain that he's able to work and grow as a new god.
Oh, he won't change unless he wants to, and he won't want to. You don't change.
He just said that he
what?
wants to help
He
people.
wants to now,
That's what I mean.
but this version of him won't last. It'll go back to the version that doesn't want to change and doesn't want to help people. That's what he's saying is coming back in a second.
Is there a chance to change that? No.
I did, briefly, but he said that the magic that I did is only temporary and won't hold back.
But that's what I'm talking about, like the internal.
That's what I'm talking about, the internal. That's what I changed.
That in having that year, he's able to work.
But he won't want to work.
The version you're currently speaking to
Won't last.
is not going to last. And it's not a case of he has years, it's a case of
Moments.
he has minutes to hours before the version of Solinar you originally met comes back.
Right.
So we have a pocket of time to use his goodwill before it's gone. He won't want to better himself in 3 minutes, perhaps. Yeah. So
You would be sticking the mind of a deranged, despotic, fractured, all-powerful god into Zawabashi's body. For that, that's... And your body into... I mean, you saw him shift and disintegrate and inhabit. Zawabashi's mind would essentially inhabit endless nothingness and everything.
I don't think it would solve
And-
the problem. It would just torture you, and then we'd have to deal with probably having to fight off someone in your body. Yeah.
There's potential that Solinar, restrained to one very specific physical body, may in some way help him. Will Zawabashi survive the time spent
As everything.
experiencing everything and nothing?
Is that what you want? I never thought that would be something you would want.
It's not, but if it helps.
What about if it's just a matter of putting Solinar in a different body to contain the everything, and we have a plethora of angels that are just essentially cicada shells at this point. Should we not just put him in one of those bodies?
Well, he would prefer oblivion to what he was. That's what he said.
I do really enjoy these moments where we all sit around with some A3 paper and we map out where are the loopholes, how can we get around this. The real conundrum, what he's laid out, is that the old Solinar, the insane one, is coming back. You could be rid of Solinar now by killing him, or perhaps in some way, as Sprig was saying, offer him some other pathway out of his godhood. But in doing so, you open a vacuum for Centis and the other major gods' powers and all those prayers to return to them, to make them stronger in the process of removing Solinar from his position. Or you could hold that bit of power back from Forcentus, hold those prayers back, but leave this all-powerful thing suffering and potentially still have to be dealt with on the other side of all of this. That's the conundrum that's...
My vote, because I think he's probably got, who knows how long left.
Yeah.
We get him to free the angels,
Yeah.
first thing. Second thing, he himself wants to help people or be gone. So I say we allow him to have peace. We deal with Forcensus anyway. I think that that's not fair that he has to stay in this state.
No matter what we pick in this instance, we're going to have to deal with Forcentus and the other major gods anyway.
Yeah.
I think that if we allow Solinar to, as you said, allow him some peace, I think that we should, because then that's kind of the right thing to do for this person, but also it means it's one less person for us to deal with.
Absolutely. There is a potential, if there's any way you could give us some kind
We
of...
also don't know for sure that all the prayers are going to go directly to Forcentus.
True.
That's true.
Yeah, some could come to us, some could go to the other gods, but I think my vote is...
Can you, now that you brought that up, Mallory, can you do a religion check for me, please?
11.
11. Have you voiced that to the rest of the party? That idea of...
Yeah, I just said that out loud.
Can I roll? Anybody else would like to do a religion check as well?
Yeah.
I got a 21.
I feel like that's going to do it.
21?
13.
11.
11. I'll allow it on a 21. Prayers go through the major gods first. All of the prayers that could potentially go to Forcentus's domain will go to him. And it is up to him to allow that to go through to the miners in his domain.
We are major gods.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of you no longer have major gods above you, and would be. And those who do still have major gods above them, there is the possibility that they may allow prayers through to you.
I've taken a bit of Wickler, so like some of those prayers.
Yeah.
I have no one.
Yeah,
Same.
you two have got no ceiling here.
Yeah.
Solinar, we've got seconds left potentially. Free your angels, free yourself. That's my suggestion.
However you interpret for yourself.
Yeah.
To be.
This is real selfish for me to ask. If there is one thing that you could say to, I suppose, that king before it all kind of turned, a little bit of advice that you wish you could have said, what would that be?
I would tell him that he doesn't need to save everybody. He already saved enough people before he betrayed his values. Betraying them didn't do any better for him or anyone else. I would tell him that he was just one man, and it was okay to just be one man.
You, my friend, are no punk bitch.
I was just thinking that.
I know. I was just being like, y'all kept calling him a punk bitch.
I feel really bad.
His eyebrows furrow.
I was literally thinking that as Brad was saying that speech. I'm like, damn, we called him a punk bitch so many times. He's actually really nice.
Kiova confirmed it as well to us.
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah,
Well, but Kiova had a different
Kiova's little
understanding.
shit.
This version of Solinar,
Not a.
not a punk bitch.
The first version we met, big punk bitch.
The one
Oh, yeah.
who did, like, gutted the sentience from your family, punk bitch.
Yeah.
This guy, yeah, he was alright.
Yeah.
He was a good hang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
He lifts his head, and his eyes glow that golden radiant light. There is silence, and the light fades. It's done. They've been let. They've been let go. Okay, he's coming. He's coming. Where would you like to be let out?
Probably not directly in front of Ford.
Where is Felix?
That's a great idea.
Where's Felix?
Can you let us out near Felix?
Is he safe?
Close your eyes.
I do.
Same. In real life and in game.
I saw. Now open. When you open them again, you are standing in the realm of Wickless. As you know, Wickless was always this twisting, forever carnival. In this realm, you can see all of those carnivals stacked on top of each other. Rather than stretching out horizontally for infinity, it stretches up, with roller coaster turning into canteen, turning into sideshow games, up and up and up. These impossible skyscrapers, every possibility just stacked up.
He's in here. Felix is in here. Thank you for taking the time for helping me to remember who I was. I'm sorry that I'm not me anymore.
There's always a little bit of you.
Ooh. Starts to tear up. You see tears run down his face. I haven't felt this part of me for a long time, but I'm glad it could be found again before the end.
He casts his eyes upwards, and the twisted metal of Wickless curves around and creates a room. It's a dingy little classroom. You can see grimy windows, with sunlight just barely managing to eke through the little bits where the grime hasn't built up enough to completely block out the sun. There are blackboards all around the room, chairs in what originally seemed to be a circle but have split off into this amorphous shape, and people, young men and women in their 20s, moving around talking. drawing on the chalkboards, discussing, planning, protests, and revolutions.
And you see this version of Solinar, the young one, smile. And he reaches out and pierces through this monochrome black and white world you've been existing. Colour comes to the tip of his finger. He turns, smiles. If you'll indulge me, I might just end it with something happy. He steps through this invisible line in space into full colour and into this memory. He's greeted by the people in this room as if he's just walked through the door. His brothers and sisters of the revolution. Drinking, plotting, ostensibly talking about violence, but really living for hope. He's slapped on the back, pulled to the side to look at a plan on a blackboard. He turns and sees a woman on the other side of the room. She winks at him. He smiles and winks back. Turns and looks at the four of you, still in complete black and white. Smiles and then drops to the ground, as if struck by some silent heart attack. You see all the people in this room scream and rush to be by his side, trying to help him up. The room peels apart, the metal returning back to the realm of Wickless, and as the walls part away, you see beyond that this large entertainment hall, a large beer hall, long tables. You see furniture pushed up against doors to barricade it. You see people like in that revolution plotting room moving around talking. These are refugees, the last surviving minor gods of the pantheon of Nerium. They are handing each other what little bits of prayer they've been able to scrounge up from storage, the food, your ambrosia. They're huddled together for warmth. There are large steel bins with flames in them. Just like the people in this room before, these are people bonded together by unfortunate circumstances. But you see little glimmers of hope and hear snippets of stories. These people are living for tomorrow, with a little bit of hope in their heart. And you see standing at the front of the room, sword in a sheath by his side, ears tied back to keep them away from his face, a couple of scars in his fur, but otherwise looking healthy and seeming to be running this entire show, is Felix, the newly minted god of love, keeping the minor gods of Nerium together. You stand in black and white. Do you wish to walk into the room?
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
You step through, like Solinar, into colour. All the eyes in the room turn towards you as you appear from nowhere. There is a moment of silence. And then cheers. Uproarious fucking exultation as people rush you to hold you, to hug you, to celebrate that there are more survivors. The crowd, this body comes pushing aside as Felix comes pushing through it and grabs the four of you. Oh my god, you're still alive! You did it! You did it! You got back!
This is so really good work.
Your brother grabs your face and plants a kiss on your forehead. You look great!
Oh, thanks. I'm the god of chaos now.
God of love!
That's nice.
That's amazing! Oh my god, and look at... You're all hot. You're all so hot now.
Yeah.
So are you.
Oh, well,
I mean,
Felix has always been really hot.
I'm actually your brother-in-law now, Felix.
Oh yeah, we got
Oh
married.
yeah, I'm your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
oh my god, all four of you got married?
No.
No?
No.
Wait,
You and I are just gonna be good pals.
Oh,
You
that's
two could
hey,
get married.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So the three of you, what is this? Romance? Is this?
No,
We just love each other.
Yeah.
like platonically.
I'm
Very platonic.
So this wedding was just a celebration of platonic love.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
The fur on Felix seems to get a little bit thicker. His eyes a little bit sparkler. He stands up a little straighter. Buoyed by love, this platonic love.
I love that so much. He's so cute. Does he have a love heart nose now?
Yes, he does.
Yes!
A little love heart nose, and as he moves, twisting around, you almost see in his fur, like the fur separates and creates little shapes of like two faces kissing before the fur. Every like ruffle of his fur creates these little shapes and stories of platonic love, romantic love, brotherly love, love for pets and hobbies, just all these different forms of love, ever so briefly form in outline in his fur before settling back down.
So
You
fun.
are the major god of love, and you will, as of probably right now, you're gonna get unfettered access to all prayers of love. Solinar is gone.
As you say Solinar is gone, there is a sound like fabric tearing thousands of times louder. The fabric of space ripping. And Zawabashi and Daara, you feel it immediately as you see Felix do. The prayers come rushing. The prayers come rushing to you, and you feel what starts as this little bubbling warmth turns into a flame inside you. You only now realize how very cold you have always been your entire lives, so chilled to the bone but never realized it because that was just your state of being. And now you feel that fire. And you feel full, you feel warm, and you feel strong.
I'm gonna cast Sending. I'm gonna phone someone.
You're gonna phone a friend?
I'm gonna phone a friend again.
Yep.
I'm gonna talk to Backwill.
Yep.
Challenge you to a duel, sir.
Hello, Backwill. It's Sprig, the god of stories. I don't wish to fight you, but if you stand in our way, it won't go well.
Okay. You send that to Backwell. Do you wish to do anything? You've seen this reaction within your family, your friends.
Yeah. I would obviously fill Felix in with what just happened.
Yes. How many sending is 20?
25.
25 words. You get a message back. Hey Sprig, love your work. We should collaborate sometime. Perhaps when the world has finished ending. Here, I think you could use these. Backward. And prayers come rushing to you.
Nice.
Mallory, you see change come to Sprig. There is pause. There is a moment where you worry it's not going to happen for you. And then a sending message comes to you. Doesn't use all 25. God of Chaos. I knew you could do it. And the prayers from Wickless come to you.
You can respond. 25.
You can respond with 25 words if you like.
Oh, hi, Nicholas.
Sorry, you're using a whole word for
Yeah.
We're back. I hope you are well. Thank you for the prayers.
Love you, XOXO.
Probably gonna go stop your brother soon. Love, Mallory. XOXO.
With this delivery of prayers, I know you guys have recently just leveled up, but I think there's another level before we go into our final couple episodes.
Dang.
You get that moment of celebration, and then the walls begin to shake. Cracks through the concrete and wood, as some great power has just awoke. Not immediately outside your doors, but you are not the only ones to receive prayers this day. Felix looks to you all and says, I don't think we can keep this going for much longer. I think it's time we fight. What do you say?
Heck yeah.
I'll go anywhere with you, brother.
Let's do it.
I think it's been a long time coming.
Gods, have your weapons. It's time to kill our creators. And that is where we will leave this session.
Thanks for listening to Forgotten Gods. Subscribe to our Patreon for more behind-the-scenes content, and follow Adventuring Portal on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with everything. For more on what we're doing outside of podcasting and in the world of theatre and comedy, check out Rising Arts Productions on Facebook and Instagram.
Hello! Just giving a big shout out to all of our Patreon members, being Alex Cuff, Samantha Sweeting, and Emily Hess, from the big love and spirit of Kevin Langley. Wherever the road may take you, I hope you get there.
This has been a Rising Arts production.